Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, guys. I want to make sure that you all are aware of how crucial and vital it is as employees and employers out there, because I actually talk to both of you, that you are taking care of your employees and you actually have best practices in place. I am here to help you as an employee to become a better version of yourself as a career coach and also as an employee for employers, helping your company to become better on a daily basis. Of course, guys, if you find the information from this channel helpful, and if you find the information from this video we're about to review and comment on, please go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. What we are going to talk about today, you see the topic of the video: are your hiring practices questionable at best? We're going to review this video based on what's going on in the press at the moment in regards to this whole submarine business here. The OceanGate's CEO, they have an interview with him saying some things that leave me wondering, Lord. Okay, so let's just listen to what he's saying, and then we can have some viable questions here. Okay, so let's begin, shall we? Let's make sure here we are all good. All right, make sure you guys can hear the audio. So I'm going to play it twice because it's fairly short.
When I started business, one of the things you'll find, there are other sub operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys. I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology. And we can train people to do that. We can train someone to pilot the sub. We use a game controller, so anybody can drive the sub.
Okay, let's play that one more time, please.
When I started business, one of the things you'll find, there are other sub operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys. I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology.
All right, let's stop here for a second. OceanGate's CEO didn't want to hire any experienced 50-year-old white guys because they weren't inspirational. How about hiring the 50-year-old, whatever their race is, because they have the proper experience? And so this whole situation with these people losing their lives in your submarine could have been avoided because you have more people with more experience. You can train. Of course you can train. I have no problem with you training. But there's some situations that cannot be maneuvered unless you have previous experience of being in that situation and how to handle it. Let me see here. It says on the screen here, Ocean CEO Stockton Rush said he hired younger crew members to be inspirational. However, specifically stating the race and age of the type of people you do not want working for your organization also opens you up to discriminatory hiring practices, Mr. Rush. That was not a wise decision to actually say those words in the interview. Yes, you want to hire people that are inspirational, but there's no age gap or there's no age there's no racial and age gap that captures what's inspirational to one person versus another. So that was a huge error on your part. Let's continue. Somebody said here, it says in a resurfaced interview with summer viewing in a new light after a Titanic bound submersible went missing. Yeah, they were talking about all week. He added that they can train anyone to drive the submarine regardless of experience. Yeah, but they may not have the type of experience you need to operate in emergent conditions. Hence what happened this week.
And we can train people to do that. We can train someone to pilot the sub. We use a game controller, so anybody can drive the sub.
Right. Of course, Twitter, in all of its mame and glory, had all these wonderful comments to make. Twitter couldn't help but point out the morbid, because people lost their lives over this. The morbid irony of the discriminatory hiring practices. Oh. Of course, now what happened all starts to make sense because you have less experienced people there. There goes somebody else that says military submarines are like unicorns. They are so rare, less than 10,000, that most people will never meet one. Military submariners are like unicorns. They are so rare that you'll never meet one because there's less than 10,000. These are exceptional people. I'm not sure why anyone, especially a private submarine company, wouldn't want to hire an experienced one. Oh boy. Right. That's a very specialized skill set, folks. Here's some of the questions that I have about this situation. Hold on a second.
The only way to fight stigma and shame
pause
is to
the other video here. All right. So I have a couple of questions that, that is really like bothering me about the situation. Number one, what his stance, the CEO's stance on, do you think the CEO's stance on this situation made the situation better or worse? Okay. Let's see here. Let's make sure we have that in did the CEO's stance on hiring younger staff help or hurt his company? I would definitely say it hurt his company because, sir, part of the reason those people ended up in the situation that they ended up in. His hiring practices, his blatant discriminatory hiring practices indirectly cause this issue. I want to make sure you guys know that. That's just my opinion. It indirectly caused this issue to occur. Number one, who's to say who's inspirational and who is not? You only have one perspective of that. Yes, it's your company, but you can't determine what your staff finds inspirational and what they don't find inspirational. And because submariners are so rare, that type of experience, you want to make sure you get the most experienced person possible. Even if they're 50 years old. Now not only you're discriminatory, you have discriminatory practice as far as ageism is concerned. You're also doing that based on the level of experience they have, because you wanted to be inspirational, but in being inspirational, you opened yourself up to liability, Mr. Stockholm. And another question. Would this have happened had he had more experienced submariners operating his submarines? Most likely, yes. It could have been avoided. But never say never, and you can't go back, and lessons can be learned. Hindsight's always 20/20, as they say. But I also have another question. Why is it that you made the assumption that inspiration can only come from a younger generation that may or may not be Caucasian, because you specified 50-year-old white guys in his interview? So maybe you use that as an example, but clearly you based your hiring practice off of not hiring that demographic, and if that's who has the most experience, it's who has the most experience. It doesn't matter what their age is, and it doesn't matter what their race is. But the fact that you distinguished it by age and race, which are two protected classes, it puts you in the discriminatory hiring practices seat. A lot of what can be avoided in companies at times is the narrow-minded foresight and insight of leaders that are only viewing things from their point of view. This is an employer where if they found themselves in this liability, this type of liability water, or there may be some things that's actually coming up now. The EEOC may be looking into him a little bit more now that this information has come to light. What would I tell them to do? Would I tell them, I would definitely sit down and have a conversation about, number one, not broadcasting that kind of information out in the open. Number two, not encouraging and not ever actually putting into practice what was said, because then you can actually be sued for those type of practices. As employees that may want to become submariners, your inspiration can come from anyone and from anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to come from from a person that's a specific age and race. So his assessment or his assumption about being inspirational is truly short-sighted. But I want to make sure you guys know that things of this nature, people that CEOs specifically, and people that think like him, are unfortunately a part of a particular population that don't understand what they say and their perspective, how short-sighted it may be, and also why people are looking at them, a little funny, like, what did you just say? And as an employer, you don't want to put yourself in that type of wahala publicly. You don't want the press, or you do not want people to have the impression of your company that is all that you offer as an employer. And of course, if you are an employer that finds yourself in something a little bit like this, a little bit more along the lines of, I may have said something that I probably didn't need to say, or may have done something that may put me in some serious liability waters, okay? As a company, go ahead and go to my, I do have consultations available for employers. You can go to mentorshelley.com/HR cons. You can go ahead and schedule a consultation. Here's the video that kind of goes through some of the services I do provide for employers or new business owners that may find themselves in this type of, lack of a better term, wahala in the press, by communicating this type of discriminatory / this type of short-sighted vision of what you want your company to be, but not realizing that as an employer, you subject yourself to over 300 employment laws that can get you in liability trouble faster than you can sneeze. So it's important to stay out of liability waters and be able to say the right things. Mentor Shelley Consulting is here to definitely help you. You can schedule your consultation by going to mentorshelley.com/HR cons. You can go ahead and click on the link below here, or you can look for other consultations. I'm more than happy to help you navigate through those type of waters as well as other HR services. I want you to know that as a company, I want you to be able to help. I want to make sure I can help your organization become a better version of itself daily. But I want to make sure you have the tools you need to do so. And this particular employer is going to need a lot of those tools. Of course, guys, if you find this information helpful as a business owner, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to also leave me a voicemail or email message, you can go to mentorshelley.com/contact to do so. And of course, here I am here to help you as employees become a better version of yourself professionally, and of course, as employers, to become a better company on a daily basis. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one.